Ever since I bought my 1981 CJ7, I just feel like I've been surrounded by ducks, 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 ducks. I'd like to introduce you guys to Fred. This is Fred. My buddy Tommy and my buddy Greg decided that he needed to come hang out with the Jeep in the shop. So Fred's going to be here for a while. And we're going to live with Fred. And then he probably will become a staple in here somewhere. Not exactly sure where. But I'm going to work on the Jeep today. Can you believe that? It's been several months before October. So let me give you a catch up or synopsis or whatever else you would like to call it. This is my 1981 CJ7. I bought it a few months ago for $3,500. And it was running and driving. And it was in a little rough shape. I'll show you guys a picture. You know, it was a cool Jeep, needed some work. Started digging into it and found out that when it ran, it developed a lot of pressure in the coolant system. I couldn't figure that out. Before I really dove into it, I decided to work on the aesthetics though and do some painting and some stuff like that, which we'll revisit once we put it back together. Once I did all that paint and stuff and kind of started getting it to the point where I wanted to put it back together, I decided it was a good idea to try to keep diagnosing the engine problem. And I think what we found out is it either has a cracked head or it has a blown head gasket. It does seem like the head gasket or the head has been pulled off and put back on. Not sure why. Maybe somebody else way down the road had thought the same thing and put it back together. But the head gasket was really, really filthy, disgusting. And the head, we're not exactly sure what's going on. But I did a bunch of work on this Jeep and I have a ton of parts for it. And I'd like to get it back on the road, kind of like a survivor status Jeep. I'm not going to be doing a big suspension lift. I'm not going to be running huge tires. I'm not going to be doing any of that. I'm trying to get it back looking nice in a survivor status. You know, we're not going to full on paint anything. There's, you know, some runs in the hood and stuff like that, but we got the paint to come back and shine, which I'm real happy about. But I kind of want to cruise it. You know, I've never owned a Jeep before. My friend Tommy's big into them. We've kind of always wanted one. We've always wanted to take one down to a place called Crystal Beach, which is where all the cool Jeeps were when we were young. So that's kind of our goal. Let's get this thing back running and on the road and do some trips in it and stuff like that. And then, you know, keep it around. It might be, you know, might be a fun vehicle to have until we can move on to something else. So what I did a few months ago when it was crazy still hot outside is I picked up another 4.2 liter Jeep engine from I want to say it's a 79 or something like that. But what it does have is this beautiful T5 5-speed transmission. So ran and drove. A guy was doing an LS swap, pulled this stuff out. So my plan is pretty much just to pull this guy out and to plunk this into there. But I got to work on some stuff first before we can pull this motor out. So that's what I'm going to try to work on today. It's super cold. I don't know how far we're going to get along with this video because we've got a pretty nasty cold snap coming. And like I said, it's cold. And I've got to get under the truck and be on the concrete. And I don't know how much I want to get done this week with that. But we need to, you know, finish up getting ready to pull this engine trans and hopefully transfer case out all at once. That's my goal. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to get everything rearranged to where I can work on some stuff. I'm gonna try to. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the hood. I guess I need to push it back up some. Get the fenders out. But what I'm gonna try to do is get the drive shafts disconnected today, and get the shifters disconnected, and then pretty much once that stuff is done, it'll pretty much be ready to pull out because I already have the head off of it. The exhaust is off. So we just kind of have motor mounts and things like that are just holding it in. So yeah. So let me kind of get some stuff moved around, and then we'll get started looking at drive shafts at least and kind of go from there. We're going to start here. I need to move these levers, shifters, thingamabobs before I can do anything else. So I'm going to pull this plate out, which seems to be in all CJs as far as I know. And I think it's, specific for the combination of trans. This is a SR4 trans. It's going away. It's looser than Jenna Jameson. So I'm going to pull all these screws out. Ooh, that was a long one. Pull this access cover off. Put our bolts here so I can pretend I'm going to know where they're at later. I'll pull this dude off. There, that was pretty easy. I'll need to put it somewhere. There, that's a good spot. All right. Now from here, what do I do? What do I do? Boop. There it is. All right, I'm going to gamble on this. I've got a 3/4 inch wrench. This right here, if you guys can see that, is the shifter for the transfer case. And it looks like it just goes down in here. And I'm not exactly sure what's going on with this, but there's some things and some stuff and some things. But there is a rod that goes through some kind of appendage here that has a bolt right here. And I'm curious if I can just take this bolt off, will I be able to pull the shifter handle out? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wish me luck here. Do the old double wrench trick on this guy. Yep. Came loose. Let's see if I pull this guy off, if we can get that out of there. If we can, that'll be very helpful. Good sign. Oh, now the bolt's spinning. I wonder if I can stop that somehow. You stay there so I can pull this off. So far that's working. Has a cotter pin on the back that I just stuck that wrench through. Just because that's what I have at the moment. I don't feel like getting up. Gotta love arthritis. Oof. It's like a lug nut. It really is like a lug nut. Check that out. It's like a lug nut. Interesting. All right. Can I get this out from here? Look at that. Ooh. Look at that. There we go. There we go. And then I'll just leave this in place. This pin moves. So there we go. It should be enough to clear that we can get it out of here. So I ran into a little bit of a issue. Somebody at some point in time has replaced the bolts for the drive shaft that hold the U-clamps or the U-bolts or whatever you want to call them down. The U-straps, I think is what you call them. And if you look back in there, kind of where the tip of my flashlight is, and you know what, let's get underneath there. We'll get under it. So this is the transfer case and transmission, and you can see that this is the front drive shaft, and we have a couple U-straps. And if you look on this side, I got these two bolts out, which happen to be 8mm headed bolts. However, on this side, right there, and right here, I have found out that those are 12-point sockets headed bolts. And I don't have any sockets that are that small. However, sometimes hoarding tools or picking up other tools and stuff pays off. This is an old set of Popular Mechanics wrenches that I got from my wife's grandfather. And in this wrench set is a 1/4-inch, 12-point, see if y'all can see that, socket, or wrench, not socket, closed-ended, boxed-end wrench. And sure enough, it fits right on there and do the job we need it to. Maybe. I got to get a different angle on it. But you get the point. So let me get under there and get these other 2 bolts, 4 bolts out here, 4 here, 2 there, back there. Yeah. And then we'll pull the drive shaft out. Took forever, but I got all the U-caps off of there. So now let's just try to see how easy it is to get this drive shaft out. Hopefully it compresses. It does right there. Look at that. Need a little bit more. Oh boy. A little grease coming out. Wasn't expecting that. Come off of here. Might have to pry up there a little bit too. There it goes. Yep. Drive shaft is up. That wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad at all. Someone did grease that thing recently. That's pretty good. All right, I'm going to work on the rear now. I'm at a stopping point. My back is cold. My head's cold. Laying on that concrete is cold. But drive shafts are out. Shifter is out. I've only got a few things left to do, like pull this Z-bar off the trans. And then we have to drop the trans cross member. What else do I need to do? I need to do a few things. I really need to make a list, and I think I'm going to do that. But most of this is done. So a couple bolts for the engine mounts, a couple bolts for the trans cross member, and then just miscellaneous stuff like our drain. And that's pretty much it. We are out after that. It won't be much longer just wrestling around with the engine hoist. Oh, there it is. I was looking for it. And Fred's been supervising, and he said we're doing a good job. So thanks, Fred. I appreciate that. But yeah, not a whole lot left to do, and this dude will be out. Gonna try to pull it out with TK, trans, and engine, especially since the cylinder head is off. It should be not too terrible, but I know that T case is like 100 pounds. So definitely gonna have to be careful how we pick it up, especially since we don't have a whole lot of throw here. But there is a flange on the back of the T case, so hopefully we don't spill a bunch of gear oil everywhere. Yeah, I don't think we have a whole lot left to do. Then we're going to get it out, and then we're going to figure out what it takes to put the Dana 300 trans on here. I don't know if I need a gasket. I don't know what I need with that. So, but yeah, mission for this week is try to get this out, and then we'll reassess from there. How about that? So, not bad progress, but you know, a little bit at a time this week is all it's going to be for me. So, it's kind of all I got. I think today's the day. I think we're going to be able to get this guy out today. Again, there's not a whole lot left to do. I've got to pull off this, what do you call it, Z-bar for the clutch. So hopefully I can just do a couple bolts here. That comes off. Then, got to drop the cross member for the transmission. Use the jack to support it, which I got the jack right there. And then hook up the cherry picker and cross our fingers that everything can come out all together and I can do it myself. I do have 2 bolts also here on the motor mounts that we'll get to. I think you can just get to them from underneath, so that should be good. And then I guess we'll see what happens. It's going to be a wrestle by myself, but I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So let's let's get started. All right, a couple looks like 1/2 inches. See if I can get down in there. Well, that was easy. One more. Wow, those things are barely in there. Would like to not lose that bolt. Wow. Okay. Z-bar is disconnected now. That's nice. Hopefully I can kind of get it and stay out of the way. It's kind of hanging down here. And that's okay. As long as we can get it up over this belt housing thing. Okie dokie. So, far as I can tell, there are 2 bolts. A big old clump of mud. Right here. I'm sure it's going to be hard for you guys to see. Right here, which I think are technically the transmission mount bolts. And then this whole plate should be able to come down. There is some kind of rubber thing on it over there, which I don't know what that is yet. I guess we're going to find out. Kind of looks like an exhaust hanger, but I'm not sure. But I think these are, I think they're all, no, they're definitely not 9/16. So these are 5/8, and then these are 9/16. So let me get the right tools. All right, that came out. Did I mention it's cold? It's a little cold. Thank God I have the shop, because if there was wind in here, I'd be done. All right. Well, I don't know how well I can show you guys this without the light. Wherever the light is, found it. All right. So in here, there's a rod that looks like it pulls the frame together in the middle, kind of like a cross member. It goes both sides underneath the motor. That's definitely going to prevent stuff from coming forward and coming out. Big deal. I also found out some new evidence that I bet my gut suspicions were right. There are no bolts in this motor mount. There's supposed to be a bolt here. There's supposed to be a bolt here. But there's only one bolt here. So this motor has been out or been prepped to come out or something. And, well, I don't know. That's probably why it was parked for a long time. Although the person that I bought it from said he drove it to the gas station and back, but who knows if the gauges were right? Who knows what was going on? And I believe him. The guy I bought it from was, to me, a trustworthy man, so I'm not questioning him, but he bought it from somebody else, and it was parked for a while when he bought it. So suspicions are telling me that there's definitely something wrong with this engine, head gasket, whatever else it could be, crack block, who knows? So I'm glad to be putting this guy in there. But there's more evidence that something funky has been going on. So I'm going to take this rod off. It looks like it's bent. I think the bottom right of these four on the driver's side and the bottom right of these four on the passenger side are what hold that thing on. And from what I can tell, they're 9/16 on the inside, probably 9/16 on the outside. And I'm going to try to pull that off because that's going to give me a headache if I don't get that out the way. So definitely going to get that out the way. Now, some of the very last bolts. Two, I think they're 11/16 bolts that are on the motor mount. So there's a bolt, there's a nut actually, and it's on the inside of this and it kind of goes up that way. So I'm going to try my best to see if I can get it with this impact, because that would save me a lot of time and frustration. Please work. Damn, we're so close to working. So close. Well, it's going to come off this way. Here it is. Yay. We'll do the other side now. I think we're ready. I got both of the engine mount bolts off. I pulled that little cross member bar thingy. I put it up. And then I went underneath it, front to back, kind of sort of looking at things to make sure that we're good to go. You saw me do the Z-bar at the beginning. That wasn't too big of a deal for the clutch. So we're almost ready to go. I pulled the vent for the transmission off the firewall. It was just a screw. I pulled the fuel line off the fuel pump, make sure it wasn't there. These cables are just kind of going to grounds in the starter and stuff, you know. Black cables for the starter, you know, incognito power is what it is, you know. There's a ground right there, but it went to the motor mount bolt, which makes no sense. Anyway, somebody's been messing with this thing at some point in time in its life. So we're definitely going to help it out by putting this other new motor in it. And I think it's going to be happy. But I am done for the night. I need to go run an errand with my wife. And I don't want to hurry this and rush this and hurt myself. So tomorrow we hook up a chain. We get the cherry picker. And we get busy. And we give Fred a ride. Fred's gonna enjoy the ride of pulling the motor out. That's what I'm thinking. So catch you guys tomorrow. Howdy. So Thursday evening, and I just kind of started figuring out some things, trying to get this engine and trans and stuff out of here. Got the chain hooked up. Best I could. I wish I had a little bit larger chain. Be relying on that bolt more than I probably would like to. I think it's going to be okay. But let's see if we got everything loose. Let's see if it lifts up off the mounts. Look at that. Excellent. I was worried that the trans wasn't gonna do what I needed it to. Look at that. All right, let me put the camera down and get this guy out. What a mess. The whole thing came off. This motor mount wasn't doing anything. I'm gonna let the trans down and see if it does anything. Beautiful. Got it pretty level. Much more level than I had anticipated. Oh, moving a little bit, moving the truck a little bit. All right. Is it catching on anything? Yeah. I need to angle it down some. So, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna reposition the chain, angle it down some. See what that does. Look at there. She's happy now. Oh, I got a little thing on the probably reverse lights hanging on the firewall. There she is, guys. Pretty much out. That wasn't too bad at all. I had read on the internet, somebody said, don't take it out with the transfer case on it. But that does not seem to be a concern. Resting on the oil pan. More coolant coming out. There we go. In bolts we trust. A little bit more. Here we go. Little twist coming in there. Come on back. Here we go. There we go. That wasn't bad at all. Engine out. In the way, but it's out. But look at all the real estate you got in there. There's no problem. Once you pull the front end off these Jeeps, man, are they serviceable. Like, pulled it out with the Dana 300 transfer case on it. So, this is, in case you don't know, this is a SR4 trans. I may have said it earlier in the video, and it's just not the greatest trans in the world. And then 4.2, which you can see the deck surface is atrocious. It's already been, somebody tried to fix it. Look at this. Loose. And I didn't loosen that up. So, yeah, this was an interesting one. But we're going to go in with this at another point in time, in hopefully the next couple weeks. But I've got to pull all this stuff off, so that's what I'm planning on doing this weekend. I've got a lot of cleaning up to do. I need to clean up the cross member thing that's on the ground over there. I've got to clean up this transfer case because it's a disaster. It might need to be serviced too. I know I need to drain fluid, put fluid in it, stuff like that. I don't know what else to do on these. I'm hoping it just kind of works. But yeah, that's kind of been a monkey on my back for a while. Now the engine's out. Wasn't that big of a deal. Now we can move on. I've got some more organizing and stuff to do in the shop since I just put the shelves up, which are already coming in very handy. Got a cool like update this weekend for you for something for the shop. That's going to be really neat. Can't wait to share that with you guys. That's probably what we'll go over this weekend. And then just, organizing and stuff like that. And then we'll probably pull this thing off this weekend and at least go over that process. That's probably what we'll focus on, and be a little bit more Jeep content. I'm actually very excited to get back to working on something other than the Dakota. Love the Dakota, but that thing, it takes some time. It definitely has taken some time to get that thing where I need it. And now it needs injectors, so it needs more work. So that'll be something down the road. It's a little too cold to go racing right now anyway, so we'll work on that. But it's fun to get back on this, try to get after it, try to clean it up as much as possible. I'm not going overboard. We're not going to detail this thing. We're just going to get it, as cleaned up as we can get it. And we'll be pretty good to go. So we have all kinds of stuff to work on. Novas and Typhoons and LS Swap Dakotas and Bel Airs and Corvettes. Oh my. We got a V10 Dakota project that I'm hoping comes this year after we get the Jeep on the road. We got all kinds of fun stuff. So what I'm saying is, if you're new to hanging out and you're checking it out because of the Jeep, well, come subscribe. Come hang out with us. We'd love to have you. Please consider subscribing, hanging out with us. If you already are subscribed, you guys are the best. Thank you guys so much. We just crested 6,000 subscribers this morning. It's been a long journey. It's been a slow roll, but I'm enjoying it thoroughly, and I enjoy, communicating with you guys and just kind of just having our little community that it is. It's really awesome. And if you like this stuff, share it. Let's try to grow the channel to do some more interesting projects in the future. I will tell you this, if you do share it and you want to hang out here, this channel will always be a budget-minded channel. There's no way I'm going to go buy a Lamborghini or some $200,000 race car or anything else like that. I will always keep this channel with a budget build in mind. So that's something to think about, not that we're going to spend the least on something, but we will do it with a budget in mind, And sometimes that means building a car over a long period of time, like the Bel Air. I'm going to buy some stuff for it, some nicer stuff for it here before too long, but I've had that car since I got married in 2014. So, it's 11 years I've had that car. So this stuff doesn't happen overnight. I think for the most part, that's true. Let's not go into credit card debt on these things. Let's enjoy them, get them on the road, drive them, upgrade them as we go. Anyway, so that's my spiel on the channel. If you're new, come hang out. Other than that, we're on Instagram. We're on Facebook at The Racer X Garage. And we got a little bit of, got some hoodies, got some hats and some stuff like that. And that's racerxgarage.com. So check that out as well. And until, next time, I'm going to be cleaning up in here. So we'll see you next time. Hopefully, where it's a little cleaner in here. Y'all be good.